video, make sure you're smashing the subscribe button, press the little bell.
Yeah,
that gives you notifications saying when we're next on.
Yeah, notifications so you don't miss a video.
Don't ever do that. And also make sure you're leaving us a comment, let us know what your thoughts are. And if you're on Spotify, leave us a nice review or a bad review, either way. Or helps algorithms. How are you, Jan?
I'm good. As people may probably see, sporting 2 fresh do's.
New haircuts for the last game of the season, yeah?
We actually do. I think we do both look younger. Although yours is partially because you sleep more.
Yeah, my 2-year-old's decided to actually start sleeping for the first time in, 2 years.
But there is a youthful look about us both.
Useful spring in our step. I think it comes down to
useful spring. I don't know about useful spring in our step.
Yeah, youthful spring in our step. I think it's down to sleep, 3 points, and a clean sheet.
Yeah, what Callum Wilson can do to a man.
But if you're still watching this video, by the way, make sure you're clicking on our social medias. You can get us on Twitter. That's where you get most of our personal thoughts and opinions. So you can get me on at Glenn _NUFC.
Yeah, and I'm at Yanis NUFC. Then we're TikTok.
And the Twitter handle as well, they're both the same, which is NUFC Talk Pod. So come along, say hi, give us a like and a follow, and let us know your thoughts on the games as they're happening. Yeah, and this channel also. But thank you very much for all the support so far. It's been awesome. So, yeah, before we get into the game, I've got 2 points which I want to mention. Yeah. You can choose which way we go. We can either go to a quiz, or we can go to the leaked images of Newcastle shirts.
Let's go leaked images first. Let's start leaked images.
Because there's been a few that came out. There was 3 that did the rounds that started, which was the home kit, which is another black and white shirt. Obviously, yeah, caught everyone off guard. And
then, it was thinner though. It's thinner striped. It's sort of feels like a retro throwback.
Yeah, I liked it. Well, nothing non-offensive. I didn't see why anyone would dislike it. And then they had a Brazilian one. I'm not sure if someone just did that for the crack. Then there was a royal blue with gold sort of sprinkles around the sleeves and the bottom,
which felt like one of an old Adidas shirt that I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
Like I completely I couldn't. Usually you see a shirt, and most people, I personally see a shirt instantly go Kevin Nolan, Ginola, Rob Lee. Mm-hmm. Like instantly see a shirt, or even in my games, I'm like. The Northern Rock one, I always remember Amiobi slapping his chest after a goal against something. I remember certain shirts and certain moments. I couldn't pick a play out of that shirt. I couldn't remember even wearing it, which is bizarre. Every other shirt I can in my sort of memory of watching Newcastle, I remember I've seen or.
Because them 3 shirts came and did the rounds for 24, 48 hours, and then the one which really did the rounds and gone in the social media channels, it's gone in podcasts, it's got journalists talking, it's got us talking, the papers, is the white away kit with the green, which is the Saudi green, whatever you want to describe it as, and saying that it's paying homage to our new owners, which is obviously the Saudi back group. What's your thoughts, mate? So I'm going to turn this heating down a little bit and melting here.
I don't know,
What's your thoughts?
I think in a world where the constraints around financial fair play have been heightened and the belt has been tightened, you can't just do what Chelsea did a couple of decades ago and just chuck money around. I mean, the Premier League had an emergency meeting to make sure you couldn't just have sponsorship go through the roof in order to generate revenue, so the club needs to generate revenue as best as can.
Because that's how City got away with it, wasn't it, for a couple of seasons when they sponsored themselves and they were sponsoring themselves like however much money they basically needed.
How much is De Bruyne? I will sponsor that much. So, commercially, there is an audience in the Middle East that can be easily tapped into. So you think of years ago, Man United's, Arsenal's, they would all go touring around the Far East, around China. They go touring around parts of America, Africa. Shirts will be dispensed around places to make, to cultivate Man United fans or cultivate the global brand across the world. It might be an untapped audience across the Middle East. I don't know. So that's the commercial side of things. Part of me thinks it's just you're asking for a bit of a kicking in the press. That's what I think. I don't care. I think if the shirt looks nice, the shirt looks nice. I really don't care. It could be like whatever colour, as long as it's red and white. It can be any colour. I really don't. I genuinely don't care. Mm-hmm. As long as it resembles some other shirt from some bygone era. But so I have no issues with it being. I just think you maybe next 2 seasons time do it when the dust is settled and. That's what I'm thinking. What's your thoughts?
To me, I'm not really that fussed. Like, it is what it is. We have no say in who owns the club.
Yeah.
If we wanted this, if we didn't want this, we weren't going to have any say in it. They want to do that with the kit. Fair enough. It is what it is. I just think that a lot of fans, a lot of pundits have chosen. We've talked about this on previous episodes where all of a sudden it's a big deal because it's Newcastle, whereas other groups, other sports, other companies, other teams which are being backed by questionable groups as well.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it's Newcastle and there's hell on, and now because we've got green in our shirt and it's green and white, which is Saudi, and there's. I just think it's going to be a constant running theme, and we have to get used to it.
No, absolutely.
We're going to lift. We're going to lift every title that we lift in the future, because we will go and win stuff. Whether it's like a League Cup in the next couple of seasons, whether it's a Premier League, Champions League in 10 years' time, whatever. Even if it's when our kids are grown up and we win the first title, it's always going to come back to you got blood in your hands or whatever the shite they come up with.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to mention this now with that?
One thing I would say is the hypocrisy thing is it is funny because Man City play at the Etihad, like state-owned airline.
Yeah.
They have Etihad written across the front of the shirt. If anything, if you ask the funny thing is, and I know this is what sports washing is. Sports washing is to generate a feel-good factor, so you take your eye away from what the regime potentially is doing. But for 90% of Newcastle football fans, they feel the soul of their club is back. Feel like you've lost the soul of your club. We're like, we lost that 14 years ago. Like, we've only just started getting. You can't say it in a game against Arsenal on a Monday night. What means nothing to Newcastle except 3 points, because there's nothing else we're gaining from it really. The atmosphere probably blows away 95% of other atmospheres that's happened in the league so far this season.
Yeah, and the rest.
If genuinely there'll be Champions League games that would struggle to rival that. You can't say that the soul of the club is, it's not as if like the empty had. So it's so the level of hypocrisy I think is quite interesting. But I do think that it was probably, if it is true, it's maybe some unwanted attention that they probably could have done without having this at this stage.
Could have, but I honestly think we're just that thick-skinned now as fans. Because look, we've had shite for years. Like we've had grief for years, and I think obviously our owners, they've got to be in thick-skinned, because they would have got way harder than any of us as fans are. They would have had
dealt with Mike Ashley. So the thickest. Imagine having a deal with him.
Yeah.
In a business sense.
But then the other people that's been jumping on board is like another podcast which you mentioned before we pressed record was the Guardian, that the Arsenal fan, and what
Lars Sivertson, I think he's.
Is that what he's called? Is he?
Yeah,
he went on and if you haven't listened to it, he's basically said that Newcastle fans should be. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but we should consider like giving up your shit, giving up the badge, supporting your team, knowing that the shame going to be with everything to do with Newcastle now, and that your club's nothing to be proud of and all this other jazz. And he went on like for a good old rant, didn't he, for about it? And
I know. Yeah, I think so. They've been, and the frustrating thing with that particular podcast is it wasn't until Newcastle fans highlighted, well, why don't you mention anybody else that this happens to? And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the case of the why don't you do this. The way I see it is that there was always going to be caveats and questions and things raised against Newcastle fans now. But like as you mentioned, we didn't choose new ownership. But yesterday, I'd forgotten about anything to do with that. I just enjoyed watching Newcastle play really well, and that's.
I think that's what most Newcastle fans will be, because we've said like we didn't really care if we got bought by the local guy down the road who could afford it, like anyone. It was just
who couldn't afford it.
Just anyone who bought us wasn't like, actually we didn't care. The fact it happened to make us the richest sports team in the world, that was just pretty convenient.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to get too over into that on this podcast because it's been already sort of hammered and it's had plenty to talk about. But I think it's the shirt thing was, I actually don't care. I just want it to be, is the shirt nice and is it not red and white?
Do you like it?
It's all right.
There you go.
I think it's all right. I think, yeah.
10 minutes to say it's all right. Anyway, do you want to go into something a bit more light-hearted, mate?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do a quiz. Then come on, then test me.
So, Newcastle just played Arsenal. We won 2-0.
Yeah.
Newcastle versus Arsenal. What game comes to mind?
4-4.
4-4. Of course it does. Can you name the starting 11? So here we go. So
yeah, that's a shocker, that.
Newcastle and Arsenal 4-4. One of the greatest Premiership games of all time. Newcastle 4, Arsenal 4, the greatest comeback of all time. Can you name the starting 11, Giannis?
What year is it?
I think it was... Oh, I forgot the right time. Was it 10-11? Something like that.
Right. Steve Harp was in net.
Steve Harp was in goal, yeah.
I remember that. Because that rubbish elbow thing in the celebration.
The formation, I was trying to figure this out. I think it might be a 4-4-1-1, but I'm sure Pards changed the formation about 4 times in the second half.
Right. Danny Simpson?
Yeah.
Colo?
Yeah.
Mike Williamson again?
Yeah. Go on, 4-4.
Not Enrique.
Yeah.
Enrique?
Yeah. Oh. There you go, you got sticks, you got back 4.
Joey Barton.
Yeah.
Alongside Tiote.
Yeah.
It's pre-Kabai. It's pre the French thing, so it's pre-Gouffran as well.
Correct.
Obertan?
No.
Trying to think who'd be up top in that. I'm trying to think who scored. So Barton scored 2 pens?
2 pens. Then obviously Tiote scored there.
Yeah, he scored. Who got the other one?
He,
Gutierrez, was he right left?
Yeah, he was on the wing.
I mean, he didn't start up front, did he?
No. Mate, I think he scored a goal, but I think he only scored a handful of goals for us. He was...
Not Liam Best.
Yes.
Was Liam Best?
Yeah, he scored. He got the 3rd goal.
I can't even remember that goal. All I remember is Barton's pens and Tiote's goal. I don't remember that goal. And Van Persie's on the first minute and a half. Who plays right wing? Right wing? Is that what got left?
Yeah, I think it's right wing, yeah.
Who plays right wing in that side?
I think he's boy number 11. You actually guessed him a few weeks ago in the number 9 competition.
In the number 9 competition?
Yeah, in the number 9 quiz that we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I can't get it. Wait, don't tell me yet. Who played right wing in that?
Come on, he went down in the championship with us. He scored quite a few goals.
He went down in the championship with us. Oh, nah.
He was...
Where's he from? Where's he from?
Norway, Denmark.
Oh, Lovenkrantz.
Yeah. Where's he from?
I don't know. Norway, Denmark.
North.
Some Scandinavian
Across
place.
the water.
What a ledge. I love Peter Lovenkrantz, by the way.
You missed from one, mate.
I'm missing one?
Yeah. So he played, I think it would be classed as like a false 9 now, but he was the... Come on, mate. He was I don't think he was. No, he wasn't captain because Colaccini was there. Who did the chicken dance?
Oh, Kevin Nolan.
Yeah.
Oh, crying out loud. Yeah, that's a shocker. That I forgot Kevin Nolan. Yeah, that shirt is what I remember. I mean, he slapped his chest in. That
one.
Aye.
Yeah. Bench. Do you want to go bench? That's a good show, by the way. You got nine and 10 of them there.
Bench. Rob Elliott.
No. Go obvious keeper.
More obvious keeper. Tim Krul.
Yeah.
Why is Tim Krul not starting?
This is 10 years ago, mate. 11 years ago.
Oh, was he a kid? Was he?
Yeah. So it means you've been about 30 then.
I don't know, bench like. Trying to think of the era because it's Danny Guthrie. Is he kicked on there?
Guthrie came on, 90 minutes sub for best.
I'm desperate to get him in. Gail Bigaramana, is he kicking about? I'm desperate to get that shout in.
No.
Over top.
So
it's not going to be Alan Smith. It's not going to be.
This guy actually was in the starting 11 in the Chelsea brace quiz that we did for Cisse. Right back.
Santon.
No, he played right back.
Ryan Taylor.
No, we said that he was like a Hayden type character.
Oh, Percino.
Yeah.
David Santon on the bench.
Nah. There's one Richardson, which you wouldn't get. This is the kid.
Richardson?
Yeah, no. I think his squad number was like 97 or something. Another guy who was also on the bench.
Sylvain Marveau?
No. He was like a rotation, sporadic player.
Left back. Irish. Shane Ferguson.
Yeah. You got left with two. One came off the bench for Peter in the 73rd minute.
Lovercrans.
He wasn't liked at Newcastle. Forward.
Alan Smith.
No. Yeah, he was a bit of a dick. He was a dick.
Luke Remy.
No.
That was way past that.
No, he was just a younger when he played for us. Had a few seasons there. Had loads of potential, but.
Loads of potential.
No pass.
Yeah, go on.
Nile Ranger.
Oh yeah.
And then one more.
He was a dick, like.
One more. For a brief second, I actually forgot he played for us, but arguably one of the greatest centre halves in the Premier League era.
Oh, Big Sol Campbell.
Yeah.
I remember Big Sol kid. Because he wore that, didn't he? Yeah.
I actually checked and
like an old cart horse cutting it out.
Yeah, I checked beforehand. He played 7 games for us. 7 games too many.
Right. Remember we signed Barnes and.
Oh and all the Dalglish's old crew and. Anyway.
Jobs to the boys, wasn't it?
It was definitely.
So, that was alright. Not bad.
Well done.
Not bad. Yeah. Did that.
Should we talk the game then, mate?
Yeah.
So, Newcastle 2, Arsenal 0. Beforehand, though, I think war flags, what a display.
Yeah, outrageous.
You can see other teams starting to get amongst the flags now, can't you? Everton's trying to do it, Sunderland. Yeah, I think it's going to become more of a thing, isn't it? Like, war flags, like, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, they are
phenomenal.
Class, like. Yeah, I mean, it's gone past it being like, at some point.
So I'm still melting up and turn this down further.
Aye. At some point, I feel like I think it's like we can say now, last home game of the season, first season of the takeover, this has to be like the pinnacle. Because if people expect to get better every game, like, where's it going to go? Like, it'll be outrageous because it's gone to such brilliant level. I mean, it's amazing. Like, the atmosphere was class. I think atmosphere between that.
It'd be called like war fireworks next to fireworks and like the players running on the flags.
Set fireworks up themselves. Dan Byrne will cut the sparklers.
Off the goalposts and corn flags and that.
I think the war flags display that the pressure on Arsenal, Wilson being back in the starting lineup, that whole. I thought if we start fast, it could be game on here.
Yeah, so the team that we went with, starting 11 was Dubravka, the back four. I think everyone guessed that was Kraft, Shah, Byrne, Target.
Were you surprised Chucky didn't start?
I didn't think they were going to. I did think no.
I looked off the pace coming back, didn't he, last week?
Midfield, you had Big Joe, Bruno, Longstaff. Up top, Miggy, Wilson and ASM, and then the Arsenal team,
Tavares.
Ramsdale in goal, Tavares, Gabriel White, Tomiyasu, El Nemni, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah.
Yeah.
So
Young, innit?
Any surprises in the lineup for you, mate?
Nah, not really. Well, yeah, Wilson actually. Yeah, aye, absolutely. Wilson was a bit of a surprise. I thought he'd be coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he'd start Chris Wood.
Wilson looked good though, didn't he? He ran them ragged.
He really did, by the way. I mean, there's a little caveat that both their centre halves have come back from niggles and they both didn't look fit. But Christ, it's not looking fit, and then you've still got to exploit that.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like he exploited. I felt like he ran it. There was 2 or 3 times in the first 20 minutes where he got in behind them. Both, once behind White, I think, and twice behind Gabriel, other way around. And the minute that happened, it was like it was sewn into them. They were terrified.
Did you? I don't know if it was me, but did you feel like watching Wilson? He looked absolutely fucking rapid, but it's because of that Wood up top. Like again, Wood's done a job. He was worth the 25 million for the job that he did. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
He was worth 25 million just for what was needed.
Stay in the league.
Yeah, but Wilson just looked like someone was holding the shoulder button playing FIFA. He was just blitzing everywhere.
Yeah, he is quick, but he's powerful and quick as well, and he's like so strong.
Yeah.
What I thought you were going to say was, every time you watch him sprint, were you not slightly worried at the same time? Especially late on, after like 70 minutes, and I was like, he's fucking take them off, man.
Come on,
wrap them up. But yeah, really good start. First 20 minutes, I thought we were absolutely smashing, like I really did. I thought we were after them, set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
It was as if the war flags displayed had genuinely spilled onto the pitch, and like the passion, like I mean, Anthony Deck were there, like it was. I'm sure Jimmy Nail was probably there strumming away. Yeah. His crocodile shoes on, cutting him out.
I say he was singing Big Riv in the tunnel before they came out.
So Tim Healy's probably there as well. But yeah, like I think it sort of spilled onto the pitch, and it felt like that, and there was just. I used this word on the previous pod, like we seemed to sort of bully and batter Arsenal, and we didn't really let up. There's a couple of points setting off, which you get onto, but I mean, even a pressure arm run earlier on Ramsdale.
Yeah, I've got a press up top, and that's one thing I've noticed is when we press up top early on, it scares you. The teams. Do you remember what we did against like Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah.
We managed to scare them a little bit where they didn't come and attack us as much. Whereas Liverpool, we never quite got that because Liverpool were like another level. But them teams where the Arsenals, the Chelseas, that sort of level, when we pushed them up top, pressed them, like you're back to Man United.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I said this on the airport as well. There's echoes of, and this is going to sound bizarre, but like Liverpool's Klopp and how they set up the front three, set the tone, and they press high, and they squeeze, and then midfield three.
Yeah.
They're snapped in. I mean, there's not without Partey in there and having to play Odegaard deeper. Mm-hmm. There is not like a general in there for Arsenal. And they lacked probably a bit of leadership. But the minute the ball in midfield, like Bruno, Longstaff, Big Joe were like all over.
Mm-hmm.
But Xhaka and Odegaard.
Longstaff had a good game. I know a lot of the stuff's been out. Joe Linton, because he got Player of the Year for Newcastle, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
richly deserved.
Yeah, which he does deserve. Bruno, every game is just looking more and more like he's world-class midfielder.
Great.
A top Premier League player. I won't say world-class yet, but a top world-class.
Potential.
Yeah. But I thought Longstaff stepped up his game and is fighting for what he's wanting in the future to be a part of the project, which was great. But one thing we've started to see from Bruno over the last few games now is he's starting to give back a bit more, isn't he? As he's getting more comfortable with the Premier League. Like a few games back, him and Milner had a few digs at each other, and this time it was him and Odegaard, and I thought obviously Bruno got the better of that, but you can just start seeing like he's not just that flair midfielder, but he's also got that physicality side of him as well, and that aggression which you need in the Premier League if you're going to be a top midfielder.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's like he's a total midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the proper old school centre midfielder that got up, got down, tackled, passed, like everything. He does everything. he doesn't just tackle and wins the ball. He reads where the ball's going to be.
Yeah.
There's like a shot later on, I think, from Martinelli, which he blocks, and then he nicks the ball later on after that. But he nicks the ball by seeing the pass before the pass is even played. Mm-hmm. He sees where it's going. Like, that is, you can't. I don't think you teach that. That's just a natural ability to judge where the ball's going to be. Yeah. Like, I don't know if people played 5-a-side and some people played 11-a-side with somebody who's just like really good at that. It's the worst thing to play against. Somebody who reads the game before you read it. Like, it's.
Yeah.
But I think he has everything in his locker. Like, we've waxed lyrical about him, but I think the tone was set from early doors, getting the ball in behind and testing Ben White and Gabriel and pressure in midfield. And I thought the Newcastle really did absolutely boss the first half. One of my pals put something on Twitter. I was like, Newcastle maybe need to chill out. We can't keep this pace up for like 90 minutes. And I was like, yeah, maybe I think we do, mate. Maybe we do need to just take some time to get some possession. But every time Arsenal had anything on the ball, they were all over them.
Yeah, they didn't have time to breathe the whole game, did they?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, it was as if they were kind of beaten into submission almost. Mm-hmm. And the first half went by, and I was kind of gutted going in half time, 0-0.
Yeah, there's half of me thought, like, was that a good reset for Arsenal where they can reset, come back out, and if I remember rightly, Arsenal had an attack from the first minute of this second half. I thought, oh no, have they had a chance to reset? But Newcastle got straight back on them and controlled pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, my fear was that we dominate 60 minutes.
Yeah,
and then we'd leave a little hole, and Ødegaard, Saka would pull us apart, and it would be that was my worry.
Do you think that's maybe still training under the Steve Bruce days where Newcastle legs used to go for the last half an hour?
Possibly, but that's kind of what you feel these good sides do to teams like. And Arsenal are a good side, so.
Well, should we give Maxi some praise?
100%, absolutely.
Because he looked lively. I thought he did really well. Arsenal looked petrified to get too close to him. When they did, he was dancing. They didn't commit 3 or 4 men to him because I think Wilson's there now, whereas before they used to
pace him behind, yeah.
Yeah, and Maxi had a good shot the first half, which Ramsdale saved, and then he actually put the ball through for Joe Linton.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tweeted the end of the first half saying that it's good to see Maxi be a threat with the ball at his feet, but also sometimes move the ball really, really quickly. I think that's got better and better and better over the last maybe 6-7 games where he's...
Sorry, go.
Yeah, I think there's been games where he's been class for us. You know, the Man United game where he had a great goal, the Watford game. Mm-hmm. But in those games, he'll try to take on... You can probably look at the highlights of him giving the ball away 10 times. I don't remember him giving the ball away until the second half, really, where he got caught under his feet. Mm-hmm. Generally, he moved the ball on really, really quickly. And I think that is like the perfect Maxi performance.
Yeah. Because you're right, he did just the right amount of dribbles, not too many pullbacks or...
Yeah.
Newcastle fans get frustrated when he's turned himself 6 times and goes nowhere, then allows the third defender to come over and take the ball off him. But yeah, you were completely right. You got rid of the ball a lot early, which is what we want when we've got faster other players that can also run with the ball now as well. It's not just down to him. Like Wilson coming back and Bruno, even Joe Linton to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And then he put through Joe Linton, which was a great pass to see it.
Yeah.
And then Joe Linton put in
a good one as well.
Put a great ball in for which everybody thought was
Ben Brown.
Sorry?
Ben Brown.
Ben Brown, Ben White, yeah.
He's not the sunbeds, hasn't he?
But what everyone thought was Wilson's goal originally.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I thought Wilson's not celebrating too much there, but he knows he hasn't got that touch.
Sheepish, wasn't he? And that was really good. It was good from it was all round decent, Longstaff, shipped out wide to ESM, early ball, as you say, to Joe, the run from Joe in behind. Not sure anybody else in the midfield. Willock will make that run.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing you'd expect from Willock. Space, get into it. Like that's his sort of game. But Joe Linton, that's where his games come on. leaps and bounds. He's gone from being striker to midfield just enforcer to now being like a proper eight, where it's like...
Yeah, because he's still going to be learning how to play midfield, isn't he?
I genuinely, yeah, he is, yeah. He's probably been coached to play like up one of the front three for the last, however old he is, 24 something, isn't he? So
Still bonkers. And for him to get player of the season when the first half of the season, not first half, but first half. First half.
To the Norwich game.
Yeah. It's
because he didn't play. Remember, he didn't play under Eddie Howe first few games, did he?
Like we can go on and praise him as much as what all Newcastle fans know, and it's just remarkable his turnaround, just remarkable.
It is. But yeah, I think they'll come back to just briefly on Maxi. Yeah, that's the thing is with him though. You don't want him just to give the ball. You want him to also, when he gets the chance, when he turns Tomiyasu inside out and gets that shot away. As you mentioned, that good save from Ramsey, which by the way is a really good save, by the way.
Yeah, because Ramsdale, looking at it, he had a few like slips when he was kicking the ball, and like he was getting a bit grief from the fans, so he probably needed that save for him as well.
The Longstaff one was when he drove it across and he kind of palmed in the air.
Aye.
That Bruno pass is just lush, by the way. Just the extra second to hold the ball for that space to open, then that little reverse one. I mean, that's just... I don't think... If people talk about wonder goals and all that, I don't think there's a better thing in football watching somebody just see something that no one else sees and it's going like little reverse ball.
Magic,
it's just lush, man.
Absolute magic.
Absolute lush. So second half I thought was like came out was all Newcastle again, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, completely. There wasn't any point where I was getting worried or like obviously Arsenal had a few attempts coming forward, but nothing that really. I thought, wow, we've been sat here, we've been defending for 10 minutes. Like this is good.
There was no spell, was there?
Nah.
The one thing, so there was a few crosses that kind of missed the first man. And I thought, well, we're lucky there because if someone's coming onto that, it's 1-0 or whatever, but or 1-1. But the only point at which I thought where they got a little bit of lift Arsenal was when Smith Rowe went off and Martinelli came on. Because he has pace, and Smith Rowe lacks pace. So I thought that was the only concern was like.
I was quite relieved when I saw him on the bench, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And Smith Rowe has had a decent season. Cause I know I had him in my fantasy football team for the first half. So I know he'd been banging a few goals in, but the second half he's tailed off since he had that bit of an injury, didn't he? But when Martinelli, that extra
well, I think he's still a top goal scorer. So he's had this knack of coming off the bench and scoring. But Martinelli seems to be a player that goes to these little runs again, like to play that little score 3 and 5 and then go missing for 2 or 3 games. But when he came on, I did think I was a bit concerned maybe a bit extra pace. Will we step a few yards deeper because of the pace of the threat of Martinelli in behind? But we didn't. We just kept squeezing the game and we made subs at the right time, I thought. Murphy and Fraser came on. Yeah,
it was good to see Fraser. I wasn't expecting to see him back till next season, so it was good to see him on the bench. Actually getting run out as well, and I thought that was smart from Eddie Howe. That was some smart substitutions where they started going for the game a little bit more. We knew there was going to be a bit more space at the back, and they're both fast, busy wingers,
and they're probably more direct. Whereas Almiron likes to come inside, Maxi loves it to feet. Never likes to run in behind really, but those two will go in behind.
Yeah.
So especially Murphy likes this, but Mike, they've got to do better with that. By the way,
I've got the I think this is where you can see that they are better players with coaching, with the closing down, the tactics, but that's just where you have to have a certain level of skill or a certain decision making.
Yes, that's the point,
and that's where. The 2-on-1 should have been pretty straightforward. Create a bit more angle, give the other one a bit more space. Where to be just pass the ball backwards to each other. And
I think Murphy paints Fraser into a corner. So Murphy is going to hold the ball for a second more. Wait until he's putting Fraser through. That's it. Gives Fraser. He knows he gives it Fraser too early, and once he gives it to Fraser too early. Fraser's only got one option to give it back to him, otherwise to try and beat this man.
Yeah.
So he gives it back to him, and then Murphy.
But that moment there, in bigger games,
massive.
You watching at Liverpool, you watch a City, you watch even like a Chelsea, I suppose, maybe not with Lukaku and
Kane and Son, like.
You watch them type of higher teams with them 2-1s. That's like bread and butter. That's going the back of the net. Where I thought that's where we've maybe just shown that's the step up that we needed.
Yeah, I do think that that's what Murphy lacks in his decision making at times. Because I don't think that was difficult.
No,
I think he's got to commit Gabriel, commit him.
Yeah.
Ball goes through. You put Fraser 1-on-1. If he scores, he scores. But
yeah,
that's it.
But yeah, it ended up being such a bit of a nothing shot, wasn't it? And
and you're right. Like if we concede and it's 1-1, that's a pivotal game for us. You're like, fucking Murphy. It's a simple pass. Like
just put it in the net.
Put it in the net, man. Ødegaard had the chance, which was after that the second goal, I think. Which was some class blocks. There was a little pull back. Ødegaard shot away. I think it was Bruno that got the shot.
Yeah.
And then he gets the tackle where he flicks it round. Is it Ødegaard or Martinelli? Where he flicks it round one side of him, goes on the other side of him, and then takes it and gets a free kick. I mean,
it's just
all at level. What else I like as well, that Joe Linton's like, he's my best friend. I'm gonna bleach my hair like your hair.
Yeah. I was waiting for Longstaff to come on with his hair bleached last game of the season.
Shelby, just a little wig on.
Actually, you might not remember this. Just where our ages might just go over certain tournaments. I think it was Euro '96.
That's good.
No, when the whole Romanian team bleached the hair. I was at USA '94. There was one tournament where
'96 was Dan Petrescu, was it? There's that back in those days.
But there was one tournament where Romania, the whole squad bleached the hair.
Class. That was absolute class. Speaking of haircuts, fresh.
Yeah, maybe we should do it, mate.
Fresh looking, couple of fresh dudes here.
That's it.
Couple of years shaved off our lives, isn't there?
We'll maybe bleach ours for
tips. Tips only.
Just the tips only.
Just tips.
That's proper 90s throwback, that.
Ice tips.
Yeah.
Ben White, that, innit?
So anyone who's basically watching us on TikTok right now, you're probably too young to remember
the 90s.
The 90s.
Or the noughties.
I was going to say the tipped hair, like, 'cause that was such 90s and naughty stuff, wasn't it?
H1 steps.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's not go there.
Right, so enough of that.
The goal.
Yeah, the goal.
You actually put a tweet out for this one saying Longstaff deserves some credit.
Yeah, his turn's class and his little dink.
Yeah.
It's just to hold it. I don't know where Ben White's going, by the way. Like,
yeah, he's probably
where's he off there, man?
Just loses his head and shoots out the line, doesn't he?
He's like, I'm not why does this? He plays for England, so I'm going to go out there. No man's land, Harry, do you see it?
No, he only does it for Man United, he doesn't do it for England.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You said like red shirt, Man United, Arsenal, maybe it's a red shirt thing.
Maybe it's that, yeah. But I thought it was lovely that, and he's almost been the guy that's just like Longstaff just being disregarded as he's just definitely not good enough. I'm just not sure. I just think there might be a little player in there. So as I see stuff like that, I'm like, is there a player in there?
But then you'd hope we're going to go and buy another, what's Bruno's mate called it, Leon, and make it a full Brazilian midfield. Then you got Shelby, you got Willock that's going to come back.
You're right, yeah.
Like, how far down because he said if he gets a new contract, he wants guaranteed football. And as much as you'd love to keep him in the squad, how much guaranteed football can Eddie Howe give him to keep him happy?
There is space for someone like Longstaff over the next 2 seasons to play 10 games a season, come off the bench for freshen things up, and to play games like that, probably against less opposition, and I think there's space for something like that. But I suppose that comes down guarantee.
It comes down to him, like what?
Yeah, exactly.
He could probably go to another lower league, Premier League team, be a rotation midfielder, because I don't think he's a starting 11 for many teams, really, in the Prem.
Well, I think it came up with the group chats. One of the group chats where he's 24. He's not a kid, is he? He's not 19. Yeah, you do think of him sometimes as 19, 20, 21, like, because he's 24, man. Like, that's like you should have like cut your teeth already, like.
You know what you're about. Everyone knows.
And his best.
Say that like Joe Linton. Maybe Longstaff needs like a new position.
Aye, try left wing, son.
We've got these gloves here.
Saying that, we did play him in pre-season, like as a 10 or further forward, and we played him further forward in some cup games. I mean, he gets Rotherham in that, but he looked like, I don't know, but yeah, heart over head, I think, is ruling there.
I know. I just can't see it.
Plus, I mean, how are you going to fit in the Jordi Maradona when he comes back to the?
Yeah, that's a conversation for when the season's out as well. So
yeah.
We've got ideas for a few episodes we're going to be doing when the season's over. Obviously, the squad where we're going to go, transfer rumours. So we've got all that, which we'll dive further into.
But no, back to the goal. Lovely from Longstaff. Wilson, I did like was when Bruno finished it. Wilson being like hit by a bus, rolling around as soon as he saw the ball at the net. At least he didn't fake his injury; he just got straight up. I mean, you hate that when it's an opposition, but you love when it's your player.
Saying that though, Wilson, not faking an injury, his tooth. His tooth.
Poor.
And then you see the picture. He's posted there with his tooth back in. So I heard on TalkSport,
if you just push it back in,
the gum just, I don't know, grows back around it. I don't know if it's really quickly or what, but yeah, just jab it back in and you're alright.
Not having that, like. But I heard that on another pod. They were like, just ram it back home and
push it back in and crack on. A little bit of a plaster around it for a bit to keep it in place.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crime that beautiful face. He's a good looking guy, Neil Callum Wilson there.
But can you imagine your front tooth just being knocked out?
I know.
Everyone's doing that now with the tongue brushing it. No, I wouldn't fancy that.
That'll probably be so, actually. Come to think of it.
Yeah.
But
took it like absolute troop though, didn't he?
Yes. He's just like a fucking injury magnet, isn't he? Like, when's the last time you saw someone get your tooth knocked out ever in your life?
After coming back after 6 months, got injured. What, crunch and tackle? No, just doing a turn with a football.
Trying to be fucking Zidane against Man United.
Zidane turn.
Where do you break? Basically all the muscles in one of my legs.
Yeah, Zidane turn after being back for a month after doing your calf. After missing half the season before, then you come back and you get your tooth knocked out. In fact, Wilson's probably just push you back in. I can't come off again.
You're still a top goal scorer as well.
Yeah.
And he nearly scored an absolute belter, by the way.
Yeah, that one from was about 40 yards out, wasn't it? Just on the turn.
Do you know what it is? That's like everyone will think like the effort is class, but
instinct.
It's not the instinct is brilliant, but he does this all the time. His holder play is absolutely classy. He pins defenders. He's stronger than you think. And the amount of times he brings balls down, he doesn't win much in the air. But he's not challenging in the air. He pins people and he's strong and he gets things on his chest and his knee.
But did you see that picture he put when he was injured, when he was in the gym? He's ripped. He's got like a six-pack shredded. Like he's got some core strength.
And he's also like built as well. He's not lean, is he? But yeah, he does it all the time. He pins defenders. That was the difference when he came on last week. Instantly, his holder play is. Chris Wood's a target man.
Yeah,
but his holder play is about. Like,
it's almost not as good as Wilson's.
Not as good as Wilson's. He can ping the ball at him, hit his head and hit his chest and stuff. But Wilson is just naturally that part of his game is so good and so underrated.
So me and a lad at work had this conversation about Wilson, and I think actually. I haven't seen the full interview or the full comment, but I think Merson actually mentioned this as well. If Wilson can stay fit, start strong in August, bangs in some goals, he could be a shout for the World Cup squad.
I think so, and I was going to bring this up as well. I've said it before. I think if you watch that game as a neutral, you'll not see Ollie Watkins, Patrick Bamford, Danny Ings, Calvert-Lewin be as mobile and do what Callum Wilson. He's the next best, in my opinion, after Harry Kane.
Yeah.
In England, he's the next best, and I don't think it's even a question. I don't think Ollie Watkins is anywhere near. No. I don't think he's clinical enough.
Danny Ings.
So Ollie Watkins has got the movement. He runs the channels. He works hard. I don't think he's as clinical.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Ings is a clinical striker. Doesn't have the movement. I think
Bamford
and Calvert-Lewin are good or decent hold-up players. Calvert-Lewin is a good finisher. Put the ball in the box. It's in about so is Bamford. But Callum Wilson has everything. He's got good feet. He's rapid. He's strong. He can play the line on his own. Yeah. And out with, I'd probably say between him and Danny Ings, who I'd put money on to finish something 1-on-1, I'd probably go with him or Danny Ings after Harry Kane. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've never understood why people put Ollie Watkins and sort of Calvert-Lewin at the same level. He's just riddled with injuries.
It would be stay fit. It'd be great to see him go.
Mate, he'd get like 15, 20 every season if he could be fit every season. Mm-hmm. Which for like a mid-table team, which he's played at most of his career,
that's huge.
It's class.
Yeah,
he really genuinely would. He just can't stay fit But
looking ahead to. Actually, do you want to mention the pundits?
Before looking ahead, a couple of points. There was a bit of chat from Carragher, Neville, and Monday Night Football when they talked about some obviously the improvement of the squad, and it was nice to hear Howe get some genuine recognition.
It took a while for them to get to that, though, didn't it?
It did, by the way. They were hammering Arsenal for the first 20 minutes after the game. He thought Newcastle hadn't played.
And that was like 20 minutes how crap Newcastle, Arsenal were. 3 minutes on Eddie Howe, 2 minutes on Wall Flags, a minute on Newcastle.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
But Carragher said he's like, he said people will focus on the money. But one thing you can't be denied is that he's a brilliant Eddie Howe coaching job. But I was annoyed because I watched the rest of Monday Night Football when they give the best coach, and they both give it. So they did a thing of the season,
I missed that part.
I watched it the next day on YouTube, but they did an awards ceremony. So not a ceremony, but they give out a player of the season.
Monday Night Football and all that.
So they did player of the season. I think Carragher went De Bruyne. Never went Son. Young player of the season.
No one got Salah?
No one went Salah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with De Bruyne. Probably would argue with Son. Because De Bruyne still playing football, so he should win it. And then they both went young player with Declan Rice and coach. They both went Klopp, and there was no other mention except, you could probably say Pep. And I was like, no one's ever done what Eddie Howe's done. People have won fucking leagues before, but no one has ever lost.
Not won a game in 14.
And then
survived.
I think it's a little bit more recognition, but I mean, Neville went on to mention before in that he said that to get the points out of the players he has, he still feels Eddie Howe is over.
Of course he has. Like, we were looking, if we can survive by the end of the season, brilliant. We've been how many games now? 4 or 5 games where we've been safe.
Yeah.
Not mathematically safe, but we could.
Yeah. Unless Norwich.
Phenomenal.
Unless Norwich turn it to Man City, who then turn it to Liverpool. And then I loved Eddie Howe's comments, the intensity they wanted to basically compete in every game, and he basically said he thought this was the big game that they've been wanting to have, that sort of marquee game.
Yeah, it actually
against the top 6. It was the first win against the top 6. Eddie Howe.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Massive,
it's so underrated and underrated, but it hasn't been mentioned enough. That's Newcastle beating one of the big clubs.
Big clubs, yeah, comfortably as well. And he just talked about the sort of the high press, the effort, dominated throughout, and the fact that when he talked about where can the club go, he says we're going to remain very calm, but we want to improve every aspect of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're bored. It's exciting.
Say some more, Eddie. Go on, say some more.
Just keep talking. It's like whenever Eddie Howe comes on a press conference or Sky interview, just keep talking. Yeah. Just keep talking.
He's good in the media, isn't he?
Yeah.
He really is good.
Very, very good.
And a part of me is is he that good, or is he just not as shit as the last manager, but who we hated listening to? But he generally is he.
If you go on YouTube, there was an interview popped up a week ago with Tubes from.
Yeah, it's good, that, isn't it?
You've seen it. It's only 5 minutes, but you get an insight to Eddie Howe, which if you're watching on YouTube after you finish this video, after you finished it, not now, there's an interview with Eddie Howe. It's only 5 minutes, but it just gives you a bit more into his personality, where he talks about his own personal development, how he went on a mission to go and watch other coaches and football and rugby and
playing piano with his son.
Yeah, and then
his sons.
But also how he went on to spent more time working in his office, writing out his training schedules and stuff, which shows you the man.
It really, that's what you have the elite echelons of whatever field you're in. Like you've got to always improve, haven't you? The game is literally always evolving, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Formations change all the time, don't they?
Exactly, yeah. Unless you're Sean Dyche.
Yeah. So, what the seat wagon now? Last few minutes, mate. What are we doing for Burnley? What are you saying?
The only slight concern I've got is that was massive, huge home win.
Yeah.
Arguably, I mean, I think it was the best. I mean, I know the Everton game was class because it was the first big home win, the first big win of the season. 3-1, Trippier's goal, free kick and all that sort of stuff. It felt like the big real, like, hey, we are here. We're going to stay in the league. But in terms of performance, like we made Arsenal look like they were like a really, really poor side. My only problem, my only concern would be after Ant Deck, have we peaked too early? Is it like...
Have we got on the beach now?
No, I don't think we're going to the beach, but do you remember when Rugby World Cup, England beat the All Blacks, and it was like peak, and then they couldn't get that most of that one. I'm not saying like it's playing South Africa in the final. It was Burnley at Turf Moor, probably not the same, but they've got a lot to play
similar
for.
Size people.
They're all 6'5".
Dominating the scrum by top. See that?
They've got to turn the half on the pack, like Burnley.
Tarkovsky, he's been linked loads with Newcastle, hasn't he?
Well, he was a lot last season. January.
Out of contract, like, yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see him.
I don't know. I think he's a good player, but I think the time to get him was January.
Yeah.
When we were weakening in an opposition for relegation, but also clearly improving us. But now,
is he much of an improvement on Dan Burn
or Fabian Schär?
Not by much. If you were going to buy another centre half, you think you were buying a centre half to go into the start 11, which would push someone down, which makes your backup players better.
Yeah,
not just buying another player that's at the level.
You're going to be looking at the Sven Botmans and Diego Carlos's again, aren't you? Like that's where you're going to be looking, because that's going to walk straight to the starting lineup and push, and then you've got hungry players like Schär and Burn to try and drive at the start.
Totally.
Anyway, I still think we will. I think we should win.
It'd be nice to finish on a high and a winner, which would pretty much relegate Burnley, depending on what happens with them and Villa. So, what's your prediction, mate?
I just think Burnley might be getting something in there. 2-1 Newcastle. That's what I'm not sure. We've got 2-1 Newcastle.
Oh, I was going to say 2-1 Newcastle, but then
because you weren't sure.
But then, as you said, Burnley fighting, could it end up being a scrappy 1-1?
That's what. Yeah, I think.
I know
they're not awful at home.
Yeah.
They are. They're not.
But see that Villa though, they down tools against Villa, didn't they?
They get better off Villa, yeah, but they've been better. But Villa have got some class players, by the way, as well.
So have we?
No, we've got fucking Bruno.
We've got Bruno. There's class and there's Bruno.
Yeah, exactly. You keep it continuous, son. There's only one Brazilian I want.
Well, either way, it's going to be a tight game.
I know what you're saying.
1-1, 2-1. You can take your pick which way.
You say 1-1 because I said 2-1.
Okay, we'll go with that then. But thank you for downloading, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't already, please make sure you press the subscribe button, leave us a comment. If you're on Spotify, give us a review. A nice 5-star review would be best. TikTok, Twitter, come and say hello. Apart from that wraps up. Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Alright, cheers. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next week on the pod and on the channel.